Good afternoon, and welcome to another edition of Blues Deluxe. It's my honor and pleasure for a second time to have Kelly Zirbes on with me from Kelly's Lot. Hello,
Uh,
Kelly.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm good. It's great to
Um,
see you.
you too. When's the last time I saw you?
Maybe a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago, during
Yeah,
COVID. I think it was just
that's
after,
right.
just before COVID was over. You and
Yep.
I did an interview, and we talked about everything. Your whole career, and now I get to talk about you becoming almost a full time musician. Let me
Yeah.
tell me about that. Perry and you have been working at this.
Yeah, I mean the band turns 30 years old this year, which is crazy. And we're
Yeah,
like the
and
longest
I've been
running.
here 45, so you've been there most of the time.
I always say it's kind of self-deprecating, but longest running band you never heard of.
Yeah.
Uh, we love it. We've been doing it since 94 and I have. And then Perry joined the band 2 years later. Same with Bill Johnson, our sax player. Rob Zuka joined the band about 24 years ago. So a lot of people in the band, 17 years for Matt, the bass player. But we've been wanting to go full time, because we've been kind of part time, but we've done a lot for a part time band. We work a lot for
Yep.
being a part time band. And people with jobs trying to make music, that's the challenge. And they just love the music. So Perry retired last May, not last May, but the year before.
Yeah.
So there's a quick story that I remember when I was booking tours, and Perry would then say, I can't do that tour. And so I'd have to cancel a few things, but there was one I did booking a duo, just Perry and I alone. He told me like a week before he had an emergency and couldn't make the tour. So I had to go do like 5 gigs all by myself with a guitar. It was crazy. And I could probably still do that, but it's more folk. I don't really do the solo thing blues. I don't know what it is about the blues and playing the guitar at the same time. It feels like it's holding me back, the guitar. So, yep, we're going full time. So we, went to Europe, Croatia and Ireland. We did a bunch of Texas shows. We do Texas a lot because his mom lives there. She has dementia, so we go over there to visit her and support her. And then we create tours around that. So it's just the world is my oyster.
Yeah. Well, tell me about the trip to Europe. You said you've been doing that for a while, but not at the level you're doing it now.
Yeah, we would do it every year for like 2 weeks or a week. Started with a 5-day tour with just a trio, and then it just built mostly France. We really did well in France
What is
because
it
of the
about France? Everybody I talk to loves playing in France.
Well, for me, it's John Francois Thomas, who goes by Jeff Toto Blues. He's my third in the trio.
I
He
know
calls it.
him. I know
Yep, and
him.
you do good, good, good. And he and I play a lot of stuff together. We have 2 songs that we've done together, and he's one of my best friends. And so we go over there, and he books us. That's
He's
kind
got
of how.
great. I played some of his music. He sent me some of his records. They're great.
Awesome. That's great. That's awesome. Really is a true blues man. He's a true blues man. He likes to do the blues, but speaking in French.
Yep.
And a lot of the blues societies in that area didn't really want him to do it in English because it's the blues. But he sticks to his
Why? I think
what
that's
he wants
great.
to do.
Let him
Me
do
too.
it. I think that's great.
Me too. Yeah, he's awesome.
So,
No, he's off.
tell me about this current. You got a tour coming up, right? Or are you going to be touring a little bit?
Actually, we don't have we did get booked for a gig in Switzerland, but that's not until June. So we're going to create a whole tour around that. And we're also going to work on getting something up in the northwest of the states. We definitely want to do more states things. We're working on a house concert tour for next year. So we've got a couple gigs booked already for that. And if anybody want to host a house concert with us, it's going to be the duo. It's going to be 2
Yeah.
guitars and vocals, and it's going to be stories and songs and in your living room with your 40 friends. So it's fun.
Yeah, maybe we'll have you come if you come up to the East Coast, we'll get you to come into the radio
Let's do
station.
it.
Yeah, we
Let's
should.
do it. Yeah, that'd be awesome. That'd be great. How many times have I said awesome so far? I think 5 times.
Well, things are I mean, before it was a little slow. I mean, when we first, it was post COVID and you were just trying to get your legs back as to how you were going to proceed,
Yeah.
and you had put out some music, and then I hadn't talked to you since then, and
Yeah.
now you got a new record out that came out in July. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, it's called The Blues Remind Me, and it is, we had done a single with Mo Beeks a year and a half ago called The Blues Remind. It's actually called I Gotta Sing the Blues. I wanted to call it The Blues Remind Me because I always like to go for the obscure stuff, but the solo, the chorus is I gotta sing the blues. So it's the hook. And so, we decided it's a better name for the song. And then the Blues Remind Me was perfect for the title of the album. But this album is kind of based a little bit on Mo Beeks and his piano playing. We have one electric guitar solo in the whole album.
Wow.
We have acoustic guitar is playing on all the tracks. It's the bass, the acoustic guitar, the bass, and the drums are the main instruments. And then we add on piano, B3, saxophone, harmonica. There's even a flute in there.
You mean the main instrument isn't your voice?
Not really. I guess I'm just the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
I'm just the icing on the cake, John.
Yeah, there's some great songs on there. I was listening to it, and I'm gonna feature it this weekend when I rebroadcast our interview.
Oh, excellent. What are you gonna play?
The whole thing.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
The whole thing.
I'm telling you, but I think it came out. It was July or June. I think it was July. I think you're right.
July it came out.
July 12th. You're right, or something. It was right before I left for Europe, and that was in July. And that's only not even 3 months, but they really are discovering. I know DJs takes them a while to get through their stack of CDs that they have, but I'm really getting a lot of people discovering it now and playing tracks. I thought, oh, they're playing that track. Oh, they're playing that track. So I'm excited about it. It tells a story. It's a little about what was happening here in the country, and just tell me the truth, which is just, please, everybody, just let's all talk the truth. Love and understanding, which is without love and understanding,
good
we
luck
don't have
with
anything.
that. Let's tell the truth. Good luck with that these days, this day and age.
Yeah, I know,
But that's good. That's a good song.
Just tell me the truth. Okay.
There you go.
That's it. That's like, yeah. Is that confusing for you or not?
No, not at all.
The truth will set you free.
Yes,
because when you lie or when you don't, you're not honest, you can't remember what you said, and you're trying to,
it catches up with you, as they say.
And I'll tell you one thing, my mother used to call me the 3-minute liar when I was little, and I would lie, and then I would go back to her 3 minutes later and tell her the truth. And most of them are, they're my band. I really love having my band. I mean, I want my band that tours with me and plays with me to be on the recordings, because we are a band. We are a band. So even though we do the solo duo stuff, we're a band. Kelly's Lot is not a solo artist; it's a band.
And where'd the name come from? I know your name, but how did that come about? That name?
Well, I used to sell used cars, so like a car lot.
There you go.
First studio album was called Test Drive. So, that was a little bit of my, history, and that kind of took me down mentally and physically and emotionally, that job and that business, but it inspired me to actually focus on music, because I was afraid to do music before that. I was afraid to be rejected for what I loved. And after the car business, I just, with that experiences I had in that business, that was my therapy to heal. And so I thank that business for, leading me into music again.
It can be a tough business.
Yeah. 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 Everybody brings their baggage with them when they go to a car lot. So I have to, I got a lot of songs about baggage.
Yeah. And you have to have a quota, right? When you're selling cars.
So yeah, you do, just to pay the bills, right? To pay
Yep.
your mechanics and all that kind of stuff. So was a crazy time. But I don't think I would have done music if I hadn't done the car business. I think I was keeping music to myself as a songwriter. I only really wanted just to be a songwriter. I didn't want to be an entertainer. And after the car business stuff, I realized that I needed an outlet besides the songwriting. So it worked. It's good. I can be a freak on stage. I can do whatever I want because I'm on stage, and it really is this expressive thing on stage can be very therapeutic. So I think everybody says that.
Last time we talked, Perry was in the room with you.
Yeah, I think he's just took a shower. You want to talk to Perry too?
Sure, we could do that.
Okay. I'll hopefully get him in here. Perry? See if he comes. I don't want to scream because my scream may just break the microphones.
Yeah.
Perry! Come here.
Yeah, he was having fun the last time when you were talking to me. He was commenting in the background.
Oh, really? Yeah. He does that? I'm just kidding. Of course he does that. Yeah. I'm telling you, the more it's 28 years, 29 years we've been together and playing music. And he's the reason this band is what it is. He's the reason. He's the recording engineer, the producer, and now the mixer. And he picks the instruments. He guides all the musicians. He lets them have some freedom, but he also really guides them on what he wants. He's
executive producer. He's an executive producer of everything when it comes to the music.
Yeah, even how I make a cup of coffee, he's the executive producer.
He produces that too, huh?
Well, he doesn't drink coffee, but maybe a cup of tea. He likes iced tea or English tea, like that. But yeah, he is definitely we didn't have kids, so he's kind of a little bit of didn't have the kids to get out his daddy. All guys have a little daddy. I have a little mommy, so I'm a little mommy to my band. I'm the mother hen of the band, and Perry's the dad of the band. So I didn't have a dad.
Where do you see the band coming down the road?
I definitely want to do a lot of the acoustic stuff. Honestly, I love doing that. But our next album, we're probably going to do another electric and acoustic, like mix it up thing, and do blues again. We have a lot of songs, and I see the band. Hopefully, the bass player retires because he's amazing, Matt McFadden. I want him to go on the road with us. But we're going to work with other people. We're going to go on the road and hire other musicians.
I like that. I hope he retires so he can go on the road with us.
I know. Well, yeah. And he wants to retire, but the guitar player, Rob Zuka, he doesn't want to retire. He works over at the Reagan Library and loves creating all those exhibits. It's what he does. He's the head exhibit designer over there. And he loves what he does, but he's 70, years old, over 70. And he just loves what he does. And I think Matt likes what he does too. He's a boom operator for television shows, and he's on 2 very good shows. I couldn't tell you what they were, but they love their jobs, but they would give up jobs for music. That's the thing about our band, is that they all kind of want to do the music more, but they also, they have bills, they have families, they have lives, but they're not just doing the music as an outlet. They actually want to do more.
That's good.
Yeah. Hey, you want to talk to Perry?
Sure.
Come on, babe. Come on and talk to him about the producing of the album. I'm really so impressed with his mixing.
Hey, Perry.
Go, Perry.
Hello.
It's been last time you were in the background
I'm always in the background. Don't you know
Yeah,
that?
you were adding color to her interview with me the last time.
Yeah, well, this time I'll try to add some more color to you.
So she
What's
says
happening?
you're the producer and everything for the record, the music.
Yeah,
You're the
yes,
guitar player in the band too.
yes, one of them,
Yeah.
one of them. Yeah, yes, I am, and it's all grown out of wanting to, or just you know how it is when you're independent. You don't have a lot of money to do stuff, so you just have to learn how to do things. And
Yeah.
over the years, I have learned to put the people together and do the work and do the mixing, do the recording, do the driving, do the
Yeah.
you name it.
He's the driver.
So yeah, that's it's it's a fun thing though. I mean, I've always loved music. That's really what I went to college for years and years ago.
Yeah.
I didn't exactly enjoy being in the studio at that time, mostly, I guess, because we were doing things where we were up at 7 in the morning and getting off at midnight. And being a college student, that wasn't that much fun.
Yeah, and then you
But,
had a day job for a while
yeah,
there,
yeah, I
and
had
then
a
you just
day job.
retired, I heard.
Yeah, I had a day job for 42 years doing sound for movies and TV shows and
That's
things
right. I
like that.
remember that when she mentioned
Yeah.
that you were doing that.
Yeah, I mean, I truly, if we didn't have the band, I wouldn't have stopped. I really enjoyed the business. The business has changed a lot in the last few years, but I truly enjoyed my work, and it was it was fun. It was a lot of fun, but we didn't get to go. There was just some things we didn't get to go do with the music, which is I want more and more people to hear Kelly sing and hear her songs and all that kind of stuff. And man,
You're able to do it now, though. You guys are traveling a little bit.
a little bit, yeah. We went to. She probably told you, but we went to Croatia and Ireland for a month this summer, and we played 6 or 7 gigs in Croatia with Tomislav Golubin and his band, and then went over to Ireland and played 6 or 7 gigs over there with a harmonica player named Patty Smith, and just had the time of our lives, man. It was really fun, and did a little vacation in the middle, and that's a good summer for me.
Yeah, she says you know Jeff Toto. I know him very well.
Jeff Jeff is the first person that ever helped us over in Europe. I mean, we had Muriel DeVos that helped get us there and kept us going. But once we met Jeff, he was one that helped book us, played with us, introduced us to everybody, and just as a welcoming host. And now he and Jim Roberts are doing things over there. And Jeff is like a male Kelly. He doesn't stop.
Yep.
he's got more energy than anybody, but is genuinely a good person, and just he and his wife and family and neighbors are just have welcomed us to France, and it's such a gift that he gives us. Get to go over and play and just experience the culture. And we actually have a friend who you may know. His name is Doug Pettibone, who plays. He's Lucinda Williams' guitar player. He's
Yep.
a good friend of ours, and he's played and helped produce 2 of our albums. And he looked at me one time and he says, "You guys do it right." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He said, "Well, you go over there and you get to play music and you get to enjoy the culture and the food and all that kind of stuff." And that for me I mean, that's a huge thing for us. That's what we do it for. You know, we want to see the world. We want to see, um, experience the way they are. You know, different cultures, and and play music. So we're extremely lucky. You know, and we have friends like Jeff Toto and now Tomislav Golubin in Croatia, and we have Patti Smith in Ireland, and uh, we have what's his name in Scotland? My
Alfie.
Alfie over in Scotland, my friend who we share drums over the internet sometimes, and we're very 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 lucky. It's a great give and take, and they come over here, and uh, John Francois's nephew is coming here next week, and he comes over and does motorcycle trick racing, and we just we go back and forth all the time. Jeff Toto's been over here 3 or 4 times, and we get gigs for him, and Tomislav's been over here, we get gigs for him. So it's just it's a lovely way to experience the world, you know.
Yeah, and I've interviewed Jeff, and he sent me some of his music, and I played it, and he's a great guy. It was fun to talk to him.
He is a genuinely gentle, good person, even though he used to be a boxer.
He loves the music too.
Oh my gosh, he loves it all. He does so much with the music, and then he does. He probably told you about it, but he does education with kids now with
Yep.
the Jeff Toto stuff, and he's like us too. He enjoys all types of music. I mean, we all love the blues, but sometimes you've got different chords in you or whatever, different words, and he loves it all. So now, like I said, he's hooked up with Jim Roberts, that now has Jim Roberts lives over close to him now, 6 months out of the year, and Jim is from LA, and they get together and do a blues duo, and they're doing great. They're doing great. So, and life is good. Now we're gonna go promote, the new album. So we've got a festival over in
Switzerland.
Switzerland. Yeah, that we're
See,
gonna
I
go
know.
do. You know better than I do. Your memory is better than mine. So we're gonna go do that and try to build a little tour around that, and as far as producing and things, I love it because I get to pick from our favorite players. We have wonderful guys in our band, exceptional musicians, but sometimes you want a different flavor, or you want a different horn, or you want a different guitar or something. And we are so lucky because we've got so many friends that are musicians that we can choose and pick from, and that are happy to come over and play for us, and it's it makes it one of those experiences where you get the kind of music you want I really truly enjoy, like Rob Zuka, our other guitar player. He's amazing. Sometimes I'll call Doug in, and he'll come in and play for some stuff. And then they told you Matt and Mike, and now we've got Tommy Chuchavera and on drums, and Chuck Mathonis, who at any given time we can call them and say, "Hey, come step in." We got Mo Beeks with us, that are playing keys with us now, and we still have Bobby Orgel, and these guys, they all come from different places, and I think that's what's makes the music fun, is we all draw from, whether it's the jazz with the horn players, Bill Johnston and Gary Bavona and all of them, and Aviva Maloney. They're all, like, the horn players are schooled in jazz, which is fun because they bring just that little bit of element of jazz. Matt, our bass player, has played a little bit of everything, but he also schooled in jazz. Then you have Rob and I, who are just, we're just guitar players from
Yep.
grew up with Cream and ZZ Top and all that kind of stuff. And so we get to draw from that. And then you have, Mo Beeks, who's come up through the blues and just a delight to be there. And Bobby Orgel, who's another keyboard player, and he just comes from the jazz background too. And, it's when you do an album, it's fun to say, give us what you think goes on this song. And most of the time,
And they come up with something you never imagined, I bet.
Exactly. And I think that's the beauty of having a band, or letting people do what they do, and letting them come up with their own stuff. That to me is the exciting part of producing, and just putting the pieces together and going, yeah, let's try that and see what happens. And, sometimes it doesn't work, but 99% of the time it does. It's usually different than what your original thoughts were on it. But like this time, we were doing the horn songs, and Bill Johnston, who writes our horn charts, still works. So I don't ever want to ask him to do more than, it takes a lot to do that stuff. But when we were talking about doing the horns for like Mama's Blues or the other two songs, it was just, I said I want it kind of what's the studio in Memphis? I'm
Stax?
Just drawing a blank. Stax. Yeah, I want the Stax horns, And he came back with all this cool stuff. And it's just, and when they started playing, man, we walked into the studio and it was just like, wow, this, how did we ever know this would come out of our little songs, and when people like that get hold of it, it's awesome. It just makes your heart grow, and it's hard to sit still and not dance and
well, you
enjoy your own music.
You have the vision, and these musicians very well, so you know what they can bring to the table.
Oh yeah. Well, and they're good, and I think people, especially people that are playing in the blues, because they're so used to doing things where it's at a jam, or they're just playing, they just come in, sit in, or something like that. So they're used to making up stuff. And I think people feel like they're worth something, and they're putting something in instead of just reading a chart. I mean, and the horn players have to, because they're doing, so much harmonies and syncopated stuff. But I still think everybody brings a special magic to the game, and I think that's really where you get the greatest music. And I hope you can feel it in our music. I love listening to what guys bring to and Kelly. I mean, it's amazing to me what I can start off with, some chords and just be playing around on the couch, and all of a sudden she starts singing, and there's no telling what the song's going to be about.
Where it's going to go, right?
Yeah, where it's going from there. And then you just give it to the guys, and they just take off. They make it fly, and it's that to me is the best part of producing.
How often does that happen, that you do that? Where you play something, she sings a little bit, and then it ends up being a song that you take into the studio.
It happens more than you think. A lot of times, she's very good to me. She spoils me, so she'll cook breakfast or whatever, and I'll just be playing around on the couch. And I think a lot of our songs come from that. And she has a couple of things she does sometimes for words, like she'll ask people on Facebook or whatever for words pertaining to a subject. But, then, she'll she'll take it from there. But like a lot of times, like my favorite example is I was playing, this is many years ago, but I was playing over on the couch and she walked over, and what she'll do is she'll just say the first words that come to her brain. And it's hilarious. So we were sitting there, I was sitting there, I had these chords going, and she walked over and she goes, black-eyed monsters, green toads, and such. And that turned into a song. I said, do not lose that. Record that right now. And the best thing that's happened to us are on the iPhones, you know, you have the voice memos.
Yep.
And as soon as we hear something we like, we're hitting the
automatic
voice
to
memo.
voice memo it goes.
Yeah. And we literally have probably 100 of them on there. Some of them will never turn into anything, but sometimes you go back and listen and you go, oh man, that's a cool riff. Let's try to build something on that. So it happens all the time. I mean, in the least expecting times, she'll come up with some words to some songs and a melody, and all of a sudden here we are, we're off to the races, and we'll have a song written, you know. And then some of them, like we had one that we had for about 10 years and
nothing, right? Nothing
it wouldn't.
happened. And then
It was cool.
Then all of a sudden,
it was cool chords. It was, and I think she kind of had the melody, but she just couldn't make it work. And then one day it just came out, and the song was written. I mean, it was done. You know, it was pretty easy from there. So that's the reason we keep them around on the voice memos, you know, and just never know what'll hit you and spark an interest, or spark something to come and like, oh man, that's cool. Let's go do that. You know,
that's great.
So yeah. So how's everything with you?
Good. Busy. Keeping busy with doing all of these interviews and playing my show on the weekends. Has been doing it a long time, 40 some odd years, 45 years.
Wow, that's amazing. 45 years, that is a long time.
Blues radio, 45 years.
Amazing.
Wow.
Amazing.
That is awesome. I'm going to give you back to Kelly, and you can say goodbye. And
Perry,
very nice to talk to you.
Same here.
Oh, you're welcome. I look forward to talking to you next time.
I learned a lot about how you write songs. You guys write songs. That's good.
Yeah, we have all different kinds of ways of writing.
Oh
songs.
Yeah, I love that story about the black-eyed monsters, green toads, and such. Because why would I come up with that? Because I watch too many horror films, probably. But it turned into a song about the icky things inside of you. That's what happened to that song. Because what's it going to be? He said to me, you have to keep that line in that song. I'm like, no, that's a ridiculous line. But then it became a song, black-eyed monsters, green toads, and such. All the little things you don't want to touch. You know, all kinds of.
That's great. You can come up with stuff like that.
Well, I mean, isn't it really the story is why would she say black-eyed monsters, green toads? Hey. I don't know why.
Hey, there's a lot of songs out there. You'd be surprised at some of the lyrics that you hear. That's tame compared to other things.
That's probably true. And, you know, he was saying, I love getting words from my fans. I ask him for one word. I say, hey, what are you feeling today? Or I'm writing a song called Boogie Bus. Give me one word. And then I kind of puzzle the words together and make a song.
Yeah, it's cool that he was saying some of the songs, he'll just start strumming on his guitar, and all of a sudden, out comes some lyrics from you out of nowhere. And then it becomes a song eventually. That's pretty cool.
That really is probably 60 to 70% of our songs is that way. Yeah. It's awesome. And
in voice memos, he said, lots of them.
Oh, so many. So just like maybe even just, a couple lines or, the Man in the Moon on the album, Man in the Moon. I was coming home from a run. I was walking and I just was remembering about there was some kind of astronaut thing happening. And I just started singing, and I took my phone while I was walking and sang the melody that I was hearing in my head, and went home, and Perry helped me create this song. And it ended up becoming about isolation, people who isolate themselves, the Man in the Moon Blues. And it's, I love when a song that's just kind of superficial in a way, like, not that
finds
astronauts
its way, right?
into a deep message, because that's what, we're all afraid to be emotional, to tell our real feelings, but that's what's great about songs.
It's not easy to write a song, but to do it that way, it's you're taking it from here, and you're things that are going on in your life. You're viewing, and it comes out in words.
Yes.
And then
go ahead. I was just going to say that this is a really good therapy. I've taught people how to write songs that way. So just take 3 chords, play them, and just say what's right there on the top of your head, and just say more and more. And eventually some of the other stuff comes up from underneath the superficial stuff, and you'd be surprised. It's called same as journaling. When you journal, if you just start writing, oh, I need a cup of coffee, I'm kind of tired of sitting here. And then all of a sudden, all this other stuff starts to come out. It's the same thing. It's like journaling.
That's great. Well, how do people find out about you and your music? KellysLot.com, right?
Yes, that's the best place to find us. Again, if you put Kelly's Lot on a search, we are all over the internet after 30 years. So you can find us on YouTube, anywhere, but go to KellysLot.com. There's no apostrophe, so KellysLot.com.
17 albums you put out. Incredible.
Yep.
17. That's a lot in 30
and there's
years.
3 or 4 live albums in there too, which I love doing live albums. That's cool.
That's quite a few for 30 years.
Usually, people
don't have that many usually.
And I was going to mention about the songwriting and what you just said together, we don't end up going over and analyzing everything. We okay, that's good enough. Let's move on. Because if you spend too much time on one thing, all that other stuff is never going to get made.
Well, it sounds that way too. If you spend all that time with it, then it's not as good as it could be.
You analyze it to death. I could have done that better. When I'm doing my vocals, I always go, yeah, that's probably the best I'm going to do. And then I move on.
Yeah, and then some night you're singing that song somewhere, and it's even better. You don't realize.
Yeah.
Right? Am I right?
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Right. Yes. Absolutely. But I just don't want to. I mean, I have ADHD. I have, my brain works very crazy, and if I were to stay with one song or one composition or one idea, it would drive me mad. I have to step away. I have to walk away and let it be over and let it be finished. And yeah, sometimes it gets better when you're playing it more and you sing it and it becomes a better song through live. But as long as you're emotional while you're putting down the vocal track, or you're emotional when you're putting down the instrumental track, it's real.
Yeah.
So just don't let don't be fake when you do it. And so it will always live. It will always be.
Songs evolve over time, and sometimes they get better, sometimes they get worse. You don't realize sometimes that a song that you wrote like 10 years ago, you're doing it now. It could sound different than it did when you originally recorded it.
It does. And also, I've become a better singer, because of singing more. So if you're a better singer, now I can actually add some some
nuances
stuff
to it.
Yes, that I before wasn't. I mean, to me, I'm a very straightforward singer, pretty simple and straightforward, but I'm learning how to add a few little licks to my vocals from having the confidence. Really, it's about confidence too. And you get that as you do more. Yeah.
Well, I just want to say thank you again. It's been fun. I always have fun interviewing you. And now I had Perry to interview too, which was great.
He's fun, isn't he?
Yeah, he had a lot of great things to explain about, moving from working full time to now, doing all the producing and all the musicians that you have around you that he can pick from when he wants to do something a little different. And that was great to hear all that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you have to go with he just goes with what he feels and then hears. And he definitely takes advice from other people pretty well. You know, he does. And he's really,
Well,
he
he
just kind of knows.
like he said,
Yeah.
they come in and he gives them something and they kill it. And it's like, I never imagined that would sound like that, is what he said.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Though
it gives it a whole new lease on life, like he said, which is great
yes.
to hear him say that.
Our whole band has some kind of influence in the songs. If they played on it, they do. It's not, we don't tell them what to do unless it's has to be a certain way. It has to be slower or faster, or it has to be more
Yep.
saucy. That's pretty much it. But they get to add their creative juices to it.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to say thank you very much for taking some time out of your busy day. And
Thank you.
I look forward to, if sometimes you get to the East Coast, we'll have to have you come in.
I am doing it. I'm going to call you. I'm going to text you. I'm going to email you, however I can find you. And I'm going to, because we're going to do that. We're going to be over there. And we already have somebody's talking to us about possibly a New Jersey house concert. So we'll let you know.
Well, you can find me at Blues Deluxe 1980 at yahoo.com. There you go. 45 years.
That's congratulations.
Thank
When
you.
is it? When is the month of the 45 years?
It's
Do you
April.
remember?
It was April of this year. I think it's April. We started it.
That
Three
is
of us.
so-
It was a 1 hour radio pre-recorded show on someone else's show, the rock show, and then we had a whole
Okay.
library of blues music that no one was playing. So three of us decided we're gonna have to make a full-time show out of it. It's been on ever since.
Where are the other two guys?
They're no longer doing radio. Every so often they'll come in and fill in for me, but they
That's good.
yeah, they do. And I actually saw one the other day. One of the guys, the three of us, we were talking about it. He goes, "I can't believe you're still doing it after all these years." And I just got the KBA award in 2023 for the show.
Right. That's right. I did see that. That's congratulations.
So,
Well, how many people have done it that long? There aren't that many.
oh, there's a few still around here. There are.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a guy
Well,
at
go ahead.
UNH. I don't know what his call letters are. It's University of New Hampshire. He's been doing it
Mhm.
since 1975.
Oh my gosh. Like once a week or what?
Yeah, once a week he's got a
Ugh.
show, and he's been longer than I have, and he's still doing it.
You know, there's a lesson in that. Some people in music say to me, I don't want to do it. What's the point? Like, don't say that. What's the point is like dangerous, the most dangerous three words. There is no point. What's the point of watching a TV show? What's the point of, what's the point? The point,
Well,
there's no
I'll
point.
tell you what the point is. Okay? The point is,
Okay.
I love doing it, and I love promoting the bands that are coming up. I love to promote the older musicians, but especially the new ones, because they're not getting any recognition. And this is one, no one's out there hearing it. And guess what? I have a little niche audience that gets to hear it all, which is great.
That's perfect. That is perfect. And they probably appreciate that they can go straight to you and listen.
They do. And they learn about all these new artists like you and everybody else that I've interviewed. Like Jeff Toto, I interviewed. I forgot to tell you that. I had interviewed him. He had sent me his records, and I played one of his records. So, yeah, I'm doing it from either, locally, regionally, nationally, and internationally now. I can do it. So it's great.
Yeah, I'll have to recommend a couple people for you. Maybe Sakis in Greece is a great blues guitar singer, songwriter.
Yeah.
He has a trio. Yeah, I'll send you some names.
Send me some names. I'd love to do interviews with them because no one knows who they are, and they need to be known.
I agree. I
mean, look at all the people you and Perry were telling me about over there that you connected with, all the musicians.
Patti Smith over in Ireland. Teresa Russell here in Southern California is amazing. She played for Helen Reddy for years, and now she's doing her own thing. And she's Perry's favorite guitar player is Teresa Russell. So you should look her up.
I will.
I know. She's amazing. So
All right.
Amazing.
Well, thank
All
you very
right.
much. Have
All
a
right. Come
wonderful
see me
day.
at kellyslot.com. Kellyslot.com.
You
Yep.
got it.
Thank you, John.
Thank
All right.
you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.